Josh, you've been homeschooled your whole life, so public school is going to be challenging.
Here we go. Guys, if the leg is the first thing kids know about me, that's all they'll care about. I want to make friends because they like me, not because they feel bad for me.
Just take my advice. Lay low for a little while.
What's homeschool like?
It's basically a vanilla-scented prison.
He's a legend.
There's so much to do. I mean, so much to try. I don't want to miss any of it.
You want to sneak soda into a movie?
How'd it go?
It was good. Mostly good.
Let me tell your mom about this. I just gotta find the right time.
Ooh, secrets.
Things are changing, and there's no going back.
You've always inspired me to never back down from a challenge. If you don't diversify your extracurriculars early, you're toast.
Josh Dubin.
Here. Here. Here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cherry the Geek TV. I'm Joe Vanourney. Best Foot Forward is a new show premiering on Apple TV Plus Friday, July 22nd. Today, we are joined by three of the key people responsible for Best Foot Forward. We have the executive producers and showrunners, Josh Sundquist and Matt Fleckenstein. And then we have the star of the show, Logan Marmino, who plays Josh. Matt, Logan, Josh, welcome to Cherry the Geek TV.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Josh, I want to start with you. I want you to give us a quick background on you, who you are. I know you wrote a book about your life called Just Don't Fall. You have a prosthetic leg yourself. The series is based on this book. Kind of give everybody, though, a brief background on who you are and what the book was about.
Yeah. So yeah, in real life, I wear a number of hats. I give motivational speeches. I make internet content. I've written some books, and I went to the Paralympics as a ski racer. But the series is based on one chapter really from my book and a certain sliver of my life, which was that I was homeschooled for my childhood through elementary school, and then I transferred to public school, and I did so, of course, as a kid who wore a prosthetic leg. And our series explores that transition in Josh's life of kind of this bubble that he's lived in to this much wider world of more people and clubs and activities and opportunities, but also more challenges and obstacles to overcome that he faces when he goes to school.
Guys, listen. Please don't tell anyone about my leg.
Which one?
Ha ha. I'll tell people about it eventually, but if the leg is the first thing kids know about me, that's all they'll care about. And I'll just be the kid with the leg.
Dude, your leg is basically the only interesting thing about you. You should totally use it.
I just don't want anyone to treat me any differently, okay? I want to make friends because they like me, not because they feel bad for me.
Well, you know, if you just lay low, none of this will be an issue. Jeez, I won't say anything.
I don't care. Sure. Look, cooler people. Later.
I know a lot of production companies have approached you in the past about optioning the book. Muse Entertainment USA came along and pitched their take on what they wanted to do, which was to take that sliver from the book about the homeschooling and the transition into public school. What was it about them that appealed to you and said, yes, this is the right take. This is the story from the book that I want to option?
Yeah, it's a great question. I find that typically when people want to tell stories like mine, including both people who have pitched things to me and also just things that you see in the media in general, it tends to be about, first and foremost, the character or the person's disability. Like that is like what the story is about. Like how did this terrible thing happen to them? And then how did they like overcome the disability, which is not my preferred method of storytelling because I don't think it really sends the right message about what it's like to be a person with a disability. What I loved about the pitch that Muse Entertainment USA had for me about this show was like, hey, we want to tell a story about a kid going from homeschool to public school. and he happens to have one leg. And I love that because the transition to a new school is something that is universally relatable to everyone. And in this case, he has a particular aspect of him that I think is underrepresented in the media. And thus we can tell a universal story with a very specific element of a character who I think can help spread awareness to all types of people.
Matt, how did you come on board the show? What was it about the story of Best Foot Forward that appealed to you, and how did you come on board the project?
So I came on board the project, had a general meeting with Muse, and they said, we've optioned this book, take a look, what do you think? And, you know, for me, I'd gotten to a point in my career where I wanted to tell stories that had more depth to them. And this is a story that obviously had a lot of great depth to it and a lot of strong potential to have an impact, just as Josh was saying. You know, one thing that really struck me is, and this is our largest goal with the series, is showing that this character, Josh, he's telling he's living a very relatable story, right? I mean, he's a kid going through middle school, through the stumbles, the ups and downs, the good, the bad, whatever it is, trying to find his place in the world. And he also happens to have a prosthetic leg. So the universality of real life Josh's story. And, you know, one thing I always go back to is I really was taken by the comedy in his story, because after all, he was a kid growing up, yes, who also happened to have had one of his legs amputated, but he was still a kid who did goofy kid things. And how did he do that differently, you know, given the fact that he had lost a leg? And, you know, for me, it was very insightful. And, you know, again, just, it all was so universally relatable. It was a story that I very much wanted to be a part of telling.
I think the comedy in the series works really well. It's I think you've hit the right notes on that and bringing that comedy across. Let's talk about Logan. Logan's never acted before. You did a search to find your lead. What was it about Logan? How did you find him, and what was it about him that appealed to you when casting?
Logan, you want to talk about how we found you, and then we'll go from there?
Yeah, so there was like the Instagram post, like a casting call, and somebody tagged me on Instagram, like thinking that like I would be good for this this role. And so me and my parents like reached out, like, what is this? And so I was like, sure, yeah, I'll audition. I will. I can't speak.
It's all right.
I'll audition, and so I did, and
she used to be
white.
And we called.
Like it, and,
my beauty supply store.
And I got it, and it was just so relatable to
you going way
like my story
back in the day.
And Josh's, like your story too.
What you looking for?
And just always being the kid with the leg, instead of being Logan, or in the story Josh, that has a prosthetic leg, and just
and baby, that snack gonna stick to nappy heads. Now, if you want some Kizzy's daughter pomade or some Resort's buttercream, hell, even some juicy ass Jerry curl, I got you.
And that's what really drew us to Logan is, you know, he's so much Josh the character.
Yeah.
So, you know, when casting any actor, particularly a child, you know, it's always about who they are as a person. What's their personality? And there was so much overlap in just Logan as a human being to Josh that, you know, was this very organic fit from the beginning. And he's just, yeah, great personality, great kid.
Yeah.
And that came across right away. And
yeah,
we worked with him a little bit. There's an acting coach, Brian Stepanek, who also plays the principal on the show. And every time he worked with Logan, Logan just got this much better and exponentially better every time.
Yeah, and just being like Josh and like having the story like my life so much already just helped a lot. Yeah.
Well, it's a great performance, Logan. You should be very proud. We are out of time, sadly. I want to just wrap it up by asking, what do you hope audiences take away from the series when they watch? What's the one thing you hope that they take away?
You want to take that, sir?
Yeah, just something that I would like everybody to take away from the story is we all have our differences, we all have our struggles, but at the end of the day, we're all the same. And if we can all just see each other as like equals, and like we're all the same and we all have differences, and just
everyone's different.
Yeah, everyone's different, and that's normal, and being different is normal. So normalized, like what he said. It's normalized being normal.
Well, it's a fantastic show. All episodes of Best Foot Forward drop on exclusively on Apple TV Plus on Friday, July 22nd. Josh, Matt, Logan, thanks again for joining us on Cherry the Geek TV.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.